basting the quilt. Right, okay, I'm using here the batting or the wadding that I'm using here is an 80-20 mix of cotton and polyester. Yeah. When I buy my batting or wadding, I always buy king size, no matter what project I'm making, because I find that when I'm doing runners and what have you, as you will see as this video progresses, I've cut so many different patches and parts out of this, so I've always got a piece that is my go-to odds piece, yeah? You could use polyester batting, which is a bit thicker. I probably would have done because this is a household project. I like to use polyester when it's a household project because it is a little bit thicker and you don't need the warmth from it. I buy the 80-20 heirloom from who makes Hobbs, because if I'm using it for to keep someone warm, like a proper, lap quilt or what have you, I will use this one because although it's a thinner batting, the warmth properties of the cotton mixed with the polyester actually keeps you very warm, even though it looks thin. Okay, I mean, then you can go on and you can buy pure batting, yeah, pure cotton batting, and you can also buy bamboo batting. Now, bamboo batting is luxurious, and it keeps you really warm. But again, they're not fat battens, they're thin battens. So, if you want something that's got definition, that's not meant to keep you warm, then use the polyester, okay? And of course polyester is cheaper, so that's why I normally use polyester for household projects. But as it went, I didn't have a piece that was big enough to do this, so I'm not going to get into showing you how to join batting, so I'm just going to use this one for now. So what I've done is I've taken the straightest edge I could find on this piece that I continually cut and laid it out and smoothed it down, and I just pinned it at the ends, okay, so I could smooth it down and pinned it a couple of places, and that's all I'm going to do for now, because what I'm looking for is the length and the fit, not to actually adhere it to the back at the moment. Once I decided I got a piece that's long enough, and it's difficult, and I would suggest if you're a newbie at this, yeah, to do this on your carpet in your lounge. If you've got to, do it where you've got some space that you can, really get to grips with it, and make sure you smooth it from the inside out, yeah, from the inside out, and have it all nice and smooth before we get to actually adhering it to the batting. Similarly, in a moment, you'll see, after I cut this, because I need to cut this at this side, we're going to do more or less the same with the backing fabric as well. Now, on my table, because I've got to do it on this length of table, normally I would do it on my big dining room table, where I have plenty of room. It's 6 foot odd long, so I would have plenty of room. But I can't, because it's Christmas and it's full of Christmas cake and all kinds of stuff, and I can't do it because we're busy on our dining room table. So I have to do it on this little table in here. What else did I want to tell you? Yeah, consequently, this is not the sort of thing you can cut on your cutting mat because it's too big, correct? Yeah? So I always use these. I bring that forward for you. You see that? Those are electric scissors. I've had them donkey's years. You just charge them up with a USB stick, yeah, in a plug, and then you can whip up the side of them. If you don't have any electric scissors, then the next thing, you know, is to use your dressmaking scissors and cut it. The other reason we don't, I personally don't cut batting on my main cutting boards, is because the roller cutter will it will leave lots of fibres stuck in the cut, yeah? Because you know with our mats they're self-healing, so after you've done a cut they come back together, yeah, they're self-healing. But when you cut batting, the batting fibres stay in those grooves that you've cut, so your cutting mat looks like it needs a shave basically. So I tend to try and steer away from cutting on a cutting mat, and I prefer to use, because at the end of the day we will have to cut it of course when we square it all up and we've finished, but initially I will cut with electric scissors to save so much as a problem. The other thing is you need to leave, we're not going to quilt this very much at all, so I'm just leaving about 2 inches either side, and you need to leave that gap, because when we do a bit of top quilting on here, even though it may only be stitched in a ditch, the fabric will tend to pull away a little bit from the edge, so it will shrink a little bit. So we need about 2 inches for this sort of project all the way around. If you were going to go crazy and do multi-stippling everywhere, you would want something more like 3 to 4 inches, and if you were sending it away to a long armour, you would need 5 inches of batting and backing left out for them to be able to peg it out to do their long arm work. That's another story, we're nowhere near that, are we? But just a heads up for you, you know, just for thinking towards the future, for some of people who may get right into this and want their quilts professionally quilted. Right, so here we go. I'm going to start to cut this. As I say, initially, oh, excuse my hair getting everywhere in the picture if it is, I need to just move this down, and you can see this is why I've pinned it for a second. Okay, just bring it down. Is that bit pinned? Yeah, I pinned that bit as well, so that you know the scope of what you're doing. It's a bit close to the edge there. Good. Oh, look at my wrist thing there. Right, so I got a bit close to that end. I might just move that over, so yeah, I don't want to make it too. Have I actually moved it? I don't know. But this is only at the moment pretend, you know, a fitting, if you like, a first fitting. So then I'm going to, excuse the noise, but it's the only way to go, I'm going to give myself a cut. See how easy these are? I don't know whether you saw that. You'll see it as it goes at the side. So I'm going to give myself a cut. See? I just love them. So easy, and obviously I'm going to drag it down a bit now. And it is pulling. I need something to hold that together, so that it's not going to come off the table as I cut. Alright, so put, and then you just, and also if you're doing this on the carpet, these are the best things, because you're not going to cut your carpet, because you kind of lift it as you're cutting it. Oops. Just a minute. Don't know why I got stuck there. And it doesn't matter if it's jagged like that, because as I say, we are going to square everything up come to finish. Let me just make sure you can still see what I'm doing as we go. So, outer end. Now I can get rid of what's left over. You see what I mean? My batting is all sorts of funny shapes because, you know, I cut bits off for wall hangings, mug rugs, you name it. So that's that. So now I got a fairly good all-round margin on this table runner, yeah? And the next thing is to secure it to the batting. Some people use pins, some people will use stitch, you know, cotton and thread and baste it. Oh my god. Right, but I'm a bit more, that's too much for me. So I can now take out my pins, where I just secured it so it wouldn't move on the table. And a couple of pins I can take out. And I'm just going to go down and see if I put any more pins in. Yeah, one there to stop it moving. Right, that's about it. So what I'll do is I need to keep the batting in more or less a straight line, and I would say that halfway on my quilt is here, okay, between the two hearts, right there. So I need to peel back, roll back my quilt to that point, yeah? I knew I left myself about 2 inches at the top, okay, as to excess. Then I get a can of 505 spray. It's a temporary adhesive, it washes out and you can reposition it. So, knowing my parameters, about 2 inches all the way around, from about 8 inches, I'll spray this on the batting. Not on the fabric, oops, on the batting. The one below. Then, this so long. From this side, I just take the rolled up piece that we brought forward and literally start to try and keep my line straight so I still got the excess batting, okay, and smooth it down from the middle as we go, okay. I'll just chop that bit forward, smoothing it out from the middle, and then down to the edge, and smoothing it. And I'll just check, yeah, I went far enough, that's stuck. Okay, so that is now stuck it down. And trust me, that is stuck. Yeah? That's stuck. It is repositionable, so if you have to lift it to get rid of a bubble or a crease, you can. And that's stuck down to our middle. So basically, what we need to do next is take our end and do exactly the same thing. Roll it up, and then I can feel that's where it's stuck to. Okay, and I need to move the camera, I think, now for this bit. Yeah? I think. Okay. So, can't get it on, my heater's just come on. So then, you take your 505, and again, we're going to spray our batting close because you'll end up with a great big wet patch. You're supposed to have the door open in case this stuff, you know, makes you feel a bit woohoo. But anyway, it's too cold here for the door open. So then we just gently roll back our top, and as we go, again, smooth from the middle out, keep rolling, smooth from the middle out, bearing in mind our margin as we go. Okay, smoothing that out, smoothing it all out from the centre outwards. Okay, and then that's stuck, I hope. Now, I said it was repositional, so say for example I had a great big bubble in there. I could pull it up and let it fall and reposition it if I needed to. That's not a bubble, that's a crease. That's a mark on my, you know, excess fold on my material. Right, okay. So it's now absolutely stuck to that batting. All in good order and stuck to that batting. Now the next thing we have to do is to cut a piece of backing, and we'll use this as a template, yeah? But we don't want the backing to be this size, we want the backing to be that size. So when I lay my backing material out, face down, because we're making a sandwich, initially, yeah, face down, yeah? Because when we turn over, we want to see the bright material underneath. So my backing material goes down, face down, pretty side. Then this goes on top, and I use these sides as my guide to cut it. And again, rough cut, because as I said, once we've finished doing everything we want to do to the quilt, we will eventually cut it to the correct size. So I'm just going to go on and do that. Oh, and in the same, using the same manner as I've just used, yeah? But this time, when it's on the batting, I will roll back this top, right? And I will roll this back to the middle, but I will spray the batting, not the fabric, okay? Because if you overspray fabric with 505, it could stain. So it's always better to spray the batting, which will absorb the wetness of the spray, right? So that's what I'm going to do next, and I'll come back to you, and obviously I'm going to cut my backing with this too, and I'll come back to you when I've got that done so you can see it. Okay, so I have just cut, rough cut, as you can see, my backing. Let me show you my backing. This is my backing fabric, yeah? Now, and maybe, is that coming out? Yeah, it's like a candy stripe, pink and green. It is cotton, yes it's cotton, but it's ticking actually, so it's really cheap. And it's about 6 inches wide, so when you buy it you get a load for your money. You buy, you know, a yard or a metre, it's 6 inches wide, so you get a load for your money. Now obviously that's, you know, bone of contention. Some people say, well, you know, you want the back to look as good as the front. I don't. It depends on what you're making. This is a utility item. You've got to remember, this is going to come out probably 2 or 3 days in a week. Once a year. It's a Valentine's quilt. You may keep it out longer because you're really proud of it, but normally speaking, you're only going to use this for perhaps a week once a year, yeah? Uh, yeah, put out early to remind your husband it's Valentine's week, yeah? Give him a little nudge. But I tend to buy, if it's your first quilt, probably you may do something different. I look for a bit of ordinary white to put on the back. Didn't have any long enough. I got to order some more. So I got some, but it's for other projects. So I came up with this. This is a ticking fabric. And at the end of the day, it's pretty enough, but it is only the back. So as you can see, I've used it before. I ought to cut that off, but never mind. So now it's only pinned at the moment. I followed sort of more or less my batting. Doesn't matter if it's longer, it's all going to come off in the end anyway. And as I did it, I pinned the batting and the top fabric, because that's all stuck down now, to that, so that I could do my, cut with my electric scissors, or you would cut with your dressmaking material scissors. Okay, and now we need to stick this too. And as I said to you, we do not want to we do not want to spray the fabric. We want to spray the batting. So I have pinned it with my little lady, Debbie. She'll do. Right, so I did put, as I said, I did put a few pins in it to hold the batting while I was cutting, yeah? But now I can just reach through the halfway any pins I may have put in to hold it. Where's halfway? Here, yeah? So, from the top, I roll back, or peel back. Where was halfway? There. Peel back to halfway, yeah? Right, so I peeled back to halfway, moving that up my table. Whoa, okay. Because as I said to you, we do not want to spray the material, we want to spray the batting. So I peeled it down. It's halfway, isn't it? Yeah, I peeled it down to halfway, trying to keep it as it was, yeah? Then I will spray the batting. Less is more with this spray. And then I just want to, and remember this is quite stiff now, lay it back down. Making sure, and as I said, it's repositional, and smooth it from the inside out. Okay, that's one half. Then shove it at the table. Oh, I think I may not have done enough. I may not have done enough, so I might have to move this up further. Take any more pins out that I put in while I was just doing the rough cut. Any more? Yeah, a few more. I didn't quite do that, did I? Right. So this one might have to go a bit further. Okay, so from the bottom, I'm going to pin in there somewhere. Right. Take the pins out. Then from the bottom, again, we need to move it up. And you can tell. Oh, I didn't go halfway. Right. Right, there it's stuck. There, I know it's stuck. I didn't go halfway, did I? Right. So that piece of batting is, well, more than half. Yeah, can you see that? So now I need to spray this batting. All the way down to the edge and back up. Alright, Then I'll take the batting and keep it aloft while I more or less let it fall, and as I let it fall I spread it out. Okay, got to this bit, it's stuck. It's repositional, that's good, isn't it? Right, ooh. Now you see here, I can sit down now. You see here I've got a crease. So because I've got a crease, no, my crease actually is in the top line. So I'm going to pull that off and smooth that out again and put it down. Right, so that is my top is down nicely again. So now I've adhered it to the back of the fabric. So now I want to flip it over so I can see if I got any problems. So starting right at the top, is this on, are you moving? Yeah, this is on camera. So I am smoothing the backing to the batting, these words, as I go, yeah, and making that. And if I do have a crease come in it, as I said, it is repositional. So as you go, make sure your backing is smooth. And usually it's the backing that ends up with a crease. Okay, so I just following it all the way down and smoothing from the middle out, all the way, and check that it is still stuck. Yay, stuck. Right. When I know my backing is smooth, that should be smooth, but that's just a crease in the fabric. Okay. Yeah. Then I can flip it around to the front again and just check that everything that I just did on the back hasn't affected what we got on the front. No, we're all okay. So now I know that my back is smooth, my front is smooth, and there we are, we've got a sandwich ready to start quilting. Alright?